Hey folks, it's Chad here with Airstream of Greensboro, and I've got today a first look of the 2024 Interstate 19 in the silver exterior, the modern grease interior. This is the 4x4 edition. It's also the #1 selling motorhome that Airstream currently makes. The sun is right there. It's summer here in North Carolina, so it's hot out and it's humid out, and you can see that on my forehead. I've also got kind of a weird hairdo going on today. That's not normal, but we're gonna go with it. Let's jump into a walk around of the outside and the inside of the 2024 Interstate 19 4x4 edition. Starting with the outside of the Interstate 19. Now this is on the 2022 chassis, so it's going to have the V6 that everybody kind of knows and loves under the hood there. When you get to the 2023 chassis, which means once Airstream is finished building out their 2022 chassis, they'll switch over to the 2023 chassis, which will probably be on 24 model year Airstreams. It's going to switch to the turbocharged 4-cylinder. We're still learning about that, but that's something to know about. If you're looking for a Interstate 19 and you want to have the V6, you're going to want to look for a 2022 chassis, and I'll actually show you where to look for that. Now with the Airstream Interstate 19 and the Mercedes, that team up, so Airstream pretty much tries to order every chassis with every option that's available. They also are going to add this really cool kind of ground effects across the front here. It says Airstream right there. You've got your license plate, whatever that would, holder there. Now this is a step, so you can step up onto the front of it and include the windshield if you need to. The silver edition, I think, just looks really sharp. Just good lines, clean lines. I think it looks good in silver. From what we're hearing, there is not going to be a white option for the 2024 year, so it's just going to be silver and black. It'll be your two options. Now on the 4x4, there's quite a bit more room between the top of the tire and the bottom of the wheel well, so it's going to sit quite a bit higher. It does give you more ground clearance, but it's also a little bit more of a step up, so something you're going to want to think about as you are shopping for your Interstate 19. Aluminum wheels, those are the Mercedes wheels. Right there, you can kind of actually see fairly well into the wheel well, since you have that 4x4 option on here. Now you've got some step boards, again, that are additional ground effects that Airstream adds. The aluminum step is right there. They do also add a stainless steel or chrome tip, I should say, to the exhaust. Moving a little bit closer to the back, you're going to see the 4-wheel drive badge. This is also going to be a true 4-wheel drive. My understanding on the new chassis, when they start building on those, it's going to be more of an all-wheel drive system. We'll learn more about those once they come out. You do have a little solar connection there if you want to add more solar, a 110 outlet for anything that you might want to do outside. Now this is going to have, as far as the chassis goes, the park assistance, the radar kind of stuff. It's going to be a 360-degree camera, which I'll show you in a little bit. The reason I mention that now is you see this integrated park sensor here. It's on this side, kind of pointing diagonally out. And that's actually because this radar system comes all the way around the coach. It really gives you a good idea of what is around you, what you might hit, or what you might not hit, or kind of where you are. I love this. It's very easy to kind of drive the system, drive this coach, to back the coach. You're going to have your remote fill here. This is the remote bleed valve. There is an external propane port here, quick disconnect, and then you actually have an on-off switch right here in the event that you need to turn the propane off, and that's going to be hidden behind this really nice integrated door. Oh, turn it the correct way. There we go. And coming back to the back there, you can see the awning there, nice long awning. Now it is, being that it's the 19, it's going to be somewhat of a short awning, but there's no arms that have to come down. That's fully supported within itself. You do have two kind of integrated LED lights. There's one right kind of here, And then there's going to be one right there. And there's also LED lights underneath the coach here on the campsite side that provides a really cool look at night when you're kind of out camping. Now, coming around to the back, you're going to see the backup camera right there. That's also part of the 360-degree camera system. There is a factory installed hitch 7-pin behind this door here. So you can tow around 5,000 pounds with this. You're also going to see the Onan propane generator. They only offer a propane generator on the Interstate 19. Now you can also get the E1 package, which is going to replace that generator with a 12 kW battery pack. There is a little skid plate there just in case your ground clearance gets a little too close. And you can see the underneath there. As far as storage in the back, we'll open these two doors. Now the door's open to, I think it's like almost all the way to there. That door opens. I think this one has a stop on it for the awning maybe. Nope, it goes. So you can open the doors to that point there, which would allow you to back it up to a dock if you're loading something, because this is also used as a Amazon van, those types of vans there. There's some good storage here. There's a light right there. That's your blind that goes across the front to block out light and visibility. There's a battery disconnect right here. Now this is a complete disconnect of the battery. The battery's getting no charge, nothing. If you have that turned on, the battery's completely disconnected. Some pillows that you get with the coach, but a good amount of storage back here. Now, if you're looking for the ultimate amount of storage, that's going to be the 24 GT or GL. The 19 is just going to be the easiest to drive. You can really go just about anywhere. You can park just about anywhere. You can drive this almost like a normal vehicle. Now, the 4x4 is a little bit taller. If you're looking for about 4x4, you know why you're looking for one. It does sit a little bit higher, so that's something you're going to want to kind of think about, as I mentioned earlier. And then coming around to the business side of the coach, Airstream hasn't integrated all this in yet. I would love to see them kind of integrate all of this behind one of these panels here or somewhere, so that you don't see all of the individual ports. You know, the range line that they just came out with last year, they've got everything basically integrated behind a panel, a little running panel there. They haven't done that yet with the Interstate. I was hoping maybe they do it the 24 model year. Maybe they'll do it the 25 model year. Now you're going to have your generator gas outlet. This does have the smart plug. Now I have this one out here just so I can show you. It comes with this little 110 adapter from smart plug. So you don't need that dog bone, 30 to 15, 30 amp to 15 amp, because you have the smart plug. Very easy to plug in, which I really like the smart plug. It does have a light on the top. It'll tell you just some things about the power coming to the coach. It's not a surge protector, but it will tell you if there's something wrong with the power coming to it. And to unplug this, you're just going to squeeze these and then pull out, and it just comes out that easy. It's a really nice system. I really like it. And then that lid there does lock it in place. You have another solar connection right here if you'd like to use that. It is a 30 amp plug. You're only going to see 30 amp plugs for the most part on motorhomes, on your smaller motorhomes. Your city fill is right here. This is going to give you, it's going to have a pressure regulator built into it, as well as like a check valve. So you don't need to add a pressure regulator to this. It has the Trima hot water heater and furnace. That's the outlet for that. And then this does have the macerator pump, as all of the Interstates have. So open that up. Controls for the macerator pump. So that's going to be the waste pump. These are going to open your black and gray valves. That is the retract button there, and then your cable inlet is right here. The actual macerator pump is going to be down in behind this door, which looks like outside shower. It is not. It's the macerator pump. Now, a couple of things in here. You've got your black tank flush right there, and then the macerator pump is going to be on a reel. This in there, you can see that, I think. Yep. And then this will pull out. Very easy to pull out. Very easy to maneuver because it is that smaller hose. The macerator pump is just going to chop everything up. And then when you're ready to put it away, you hit the reel, and it goes right back up in there. You want to leave a little bit of slack there, and that gives you enough room to be able to maneuver it in place. Like so. It's easier to do it when you're not holding the camera. And then it kind of hides in there like that. And you can close this away. Put that up. Yeah. There we go. And then it's a 751 key. You know, that's not going to be the most secure setup. It's secure enough that, you know, kids aren't going to be able to necessarily get in there and mess around with things if you've got that closed and locked. And then your outside shower is right here. Hot and cold water. Now, as far as what that connects to, I'll show you that over here. These are your mats that come with it. This is the little cap that goes onto the smart plug to keep it clean. You're going to get a little soap dispenser thing if you want to put into the bathroom. This is going to be the outside shower connection. So it's this that connects to this hose here. And then this hose quick disconnect connects right there. They give you some random tools from Airstream for some reason. Not Airstream branded. That's your remote for the TV. This is your propane quick disconnect cable. If you want to hook that up to your outside stove, they give you a power plug, tester, and then this is your 30-amp smart plug cable right there. Go back around this side. Now, as far as putting diesel in, that is going to be right here. So you got to open the driver's door, and then you've got your diesel fill. But you can close this door back to keep diesel fumes out of the coach. And then when you close this and lock the door, that you can't open this. So that's locked behind that door. That is a nice feature that comes with the Mercedes. You can see one of the cameras for the side view right there, or the 360. Nice mirror setup. You can see pretty good, but you can see really good because of the 360 camera system, which I'll show you in a little bit. I'm going to pop the hood. Just that one. Come around. There's not a whole lot to see here, but just want to give you, at least let you see in. Computer system right there. Your that should be windshield wiper fluid, brakes, airbox. You can kind of see that beefy, it's kind of a joke, but you can see the large V6 in there. That is eventually going to become a 4-cylinder. Your DEF fill is right there if you're wondering. DEF only. Airbox or air intake is right there. Yeah, so I think that's going to be air conditioning. And I think air intake for the engine is down here. Moves up into there. And then down into the engine itself. And nothing really on this side. What's that? Radiator fill reserve right there. So that is the inside of the engine. It does have a little arm over here that pops up, pops down, I guess, in this case. Now, it's very easy to bend that, actually mess up the hood if you're not careful. So you want to make sure that you've remembered to take that apart, that this isn't on shocks. That Mercedes doesn't do that currently. Now, this is going to have, as I mentioned, it's got the integrated park sensors. Right there's one, and they go all the way across the front. This is also going to have all of your adaptive cruise, your lane departure, your collision avoidance, all of that stuff built in from Mercedes. Because again, when Airstream orders these chassis from Mercedes, they pretty much order it with every option that you can possibly get. All right, let's jump to the inside of the Interstate 19, the 2024 Interstate 19. Now, as we go into the inside of the Interstate 19, they want to mention this one is available. We do have quite a few Interstate 19s that we can get a hold of. They're not necessarily on the ground currently, but we can get them. So if you're interested in an Interstate 19 or the 24 GT or GLs, feel free to reach out. All of my contact information is there below in the description. There's also going to be a link in the description to get you to all the specifications for this particular Interstate 19. And again, if you're just looking for every option, every possibility, you know, Airstream.com is a great place to go there. Or feel free to give me a call. I'll be happy to help with that as well. Now, I've got the key for the Mercedes right here. This is the keyless entry. Now, it doesn't have the ability to push a button or to grab the handle and Don't throw the keys down. It doesn't have the ability to press this or touch this for it to unlock. You do actually have to hit the physical lock and unlock button, but it does lock and unlock all doors, including the back doors. And you have the ability to open the side door or the side van door by pressing and holding that button right there, and the side door will open up because it is powered. The step is powered as well. Now the Interstate 1924 GL 24 GT and most likely the 24X will all have the powered side door. The Range line does not have that. Now with the Interstate 19, your fill for fresh water is right here because that tank is on the inside. Behind this door, and I'll show you, it's just going to be part of the winterization process. There's a valve right there. There's a hose that will come down. Hold that down. This hose will come out, go into a container, like a bucket with winterization fluid in it. Make sure you use the food grade winterization fluid, and then we'll use the water pump to pump it up into the coach. At shows, whenever we take a 19 to shows, that door gets open about 100 times because everybody thinks it might be storage. You are going to have a really nice screen door set up. I love that screen door. And then I can't reach that one, I'm too short. You also have this one. What I like about this setup, this changed I think in 2022 model year. It used to be kind of just the full doors that slid back and forth. If you are, say you're at a soccer game and this is your kind of home base for the soccer games, and you want to pass out a drink to your kids, you can open this one up, pass out a drink, close it back down. You don't have to open the whole thing. When you go into the coach and you open this one, you don't have to open that one to get inside the coach. I like that. You do have a control panel just as you come inside right there. That's going to have a electronic battery disconnect right there. You've got your step on and off switch. Off is just going to mean that as you open and close the door, the step is going to stay out. The on position is going to have the step go in and out every time you close the door. Now on this control panel, you've got 3 of these. You've got one here, one up in that compartment right there, and then one up front, or one in the back there. On the main page, you can see your tanks. We've got a little bit of LP in there. Now you can turn all your lights on and off, turn them all on. You can dim your lights, you can set it to cinema, and you have the ability to control your HVAC when it's turned on. Your air conditioner, page 2, is going to let you run the on in and out, turn your tank heaters on, turn your water pump on, run your rear screen up and down, start the generator, and then see your battery status, which the batteries on here look pretty good. And then that's home. You've got this next one down, which will let you turn on all of your different lights. I'm going to turn every light on. Next one's going to be your generator. You do have auto gen start on this generator. This one's going to be all of your climate. And then this lets you run up all of your blinds, because this does have the powered blinds on it. And then the last one's just going to be all of your different settings that kind of go back there, so you can see that. You can start the generator, you can go into your auto gen start stuff right there, all of your different lights, and then your home page there. Now I'm going to hit the awning. We want to retract it. Now this is an automatic awning, so once you hit that switch there, it's just going to start going in or out. You do have the LED lights running along right there, and then that's your light that is up there, and there's another one right there. So you have two types of lights that you can use when you are using your awning. You can see that running in. Now, again, that fully supports itself, so you don't have to put any arms down. You don't have to stake anything into the ground. Run that in and out, and that does have a wind sensor. I've had that thing actually go in on me when I was trying to do a video, because the wind was a little too windy. Now these lights below, I do like these, even with the awning in. Those lights still work and still give you some light. And again, you're going to have an undercarriage light. See if I can show that. Yeah, right there it is, LED. Nice LED light. Then you can see the undercarriage of the coach. And again, this is the 4-wheel drive. True 4-wheel drive, so it is going to have like a transfer case down there. Now stepping up into the coach, this is all light Italian plywood with a laminate on top. Now, the thing about Airstream that's going to be unique to some of the other products that you're seeing out on the market right now, Airstream really just cuts no corners. So anywhere where another manufacturer might put a thin piece of Luan, that's going to be solid, light Italian plywood with a laminate on it. Even the corners are not like a cheap thing that you can wrap around. It is solid. You do have a fire extinguisher there and power right down there. In your kitchen area, you're going to have a nice undermounted stainless steel sink with your Corian countertop. There is some storage below. Oop, that came out fast. Your silverware organizer is right there, and there's a little bit more storage in this area. And then these doors will open. You're going to see the over-engineered hinges. This hinge is big enough to almost just have one hinge. It does come with a trash can, as all Airstreams do, and there's a little bit more storage in here as well. Oh, and then one more pull out right here. These are cut weird just so that Airstream can give you the max amount of storage and then still cover everything in the back. Now these doors here, there's a connection point in the back that holds that in. This is just for the ability to pull the drawer out. That's not actually locking the drawer in place. You'll have a nice residential sink that does have the pull down so you can wash things off. You've got your two propane gas, or your propane stovetop with 2 burners. If you opt the E1 package, this will become an induction cooktop. Your sofa area back here, those buttons are going to be controlled right there. Now the refrigerator, it is a smaller refrigerator. It's all 12 volt. A little bit of a freezer there. You've got some door storage right here. Just comes with 2. You've got some pullouts right there. Good storage though. I mean, for a small coach, that is, that's about what you can put in. You've got a nice little pantry right here. And a joke about this being so tall. The joke is that Airstream wanted to make sure you had somewhere to put your wine bottles. That is where you put your wine bottles, I guess. Probably want to put something around them as you're driving, because that will definitely make some noise. Now, before we get to the back, I want to come around to the wet bath. It is going to be a wet bath. And you have the nice light Italian plywood with a laminate. You also got this really cool porthole that's aluminum. And then stepping in, you are going to have a mirror. 5 times mirror magnification, I guess is what that means. The shower, the sink faucet is also going to double as your shower faucet right there. You do have the little line that pulls across that will connect to right there. You've got 2 nice LED lights in here. You also have an exhaust right there that's backlit. That is pretty, actually, super cool. The drain is right there. This is going to have a plastic seat in it. That is just how it is on these 19s. They just don't have the weight carrying capacity to put in a porcelain toilet here. And you do have a spot for toilet paper right there that's going to be somewhat water resistant. Now this curtain is here because you don't want to get this laminate wet if you can help it. So this will pull across and then kind of block this whole area off the door and then the sidewall there. Everything else is going to be fiberglass, so you're fine to get that wet. Now stepping into it, as far as size goes, you guys know I'm not exactly a small person. It's also very humid, so I'm sweating, so I apologize for that. Yeah, quite a bit of sweat there. It's very humid. We finally hit summer in North Carolina. We've had this like weird winter or like spring thing going on or fall thing going on where it's not really been that hot. We have officially hit summer and it's hot outside. It is July. It's hot. But anyway, so there's enough room in here if you wanted to stand and take a shower. It's tight, but it's doable. You could also sit down and do that. There is enough room to sit down in here. My left knee does touch the little sink setup they've got here. I almost wish they would just get rid of this sink or do something different here. Maybe a fold out sink would be better. But there is room. I can sit in here, as you can see. If you're wanting a roomy bathroom, the 19 is not going to be that, or really any Class B. You're going to want to go to a Class C if you're wanting a roomy bathroom. Now coming to the back area, you do have another little storage compartment here that can also be a hanging closet. These shelves are adjustable. There's nothing down there. And we'll continue. Here's your microwave. It is a Regular microwave is not convection. It is also very small. You could heat up a hot pocket in there if you wanted to. It says you can heat a steak. I don't think I would microwave a steak. You're going to have pretty good storage back here in this area. If you do the Tommy Bahama, this will be where your liquor goes. A little bit of storage there with a sliding glass, and then additional storage on this side. Of course, we have the pack stuck up here right now that you're going to get with every Airstream. And this is going to be your control center. Power control, this is just going to regulate the amount of power that you've got in. Your inverter controller is right there. Your battery heater is here. This has 200 amp hour lithium batteries. Solar charge controller is right there. The Truma system is here as far as hot water and heat. And then your main control board is going to be right here. So I was incorrect when I said there were three screens. It looks like on this one, on the 19, there's two. There's the big one and then the small one up front. You can set your AC right here. Let's see if we can turn the generator on. Hit and hold that. Should come on. Yep, there it goes. And it's running. Yeah, it kicked on. So house batteries, chassis batteries, you can get into your generator settings. You can see your inverter temperature, what the generator is currently doing. We're going to kick the AC on for a second. Should come on. You'll probably hear it come on. It's 84 in here right now, and it definitely feels like it. And then there's not two screens on this like the small one. There's just one big screen, so you can actually get to everything on here. Awning, rear screen. If I put that down, now that's going to be the bug screen. There's another screen to block all of that off, to block the light off. That's different from the rear screen. That's going to be under your blinds. So if I put all of the shades down, you're going to see these shades come down. There's a shade right here that's going to come down to block the back. Shade right there, and a shade in the door here. Now your front area is going to be a magnet type thing that goes up into there. That's in those boxes that are back there. And then you can run individual shades up and down, or run all the shades up and down at the same time. And see, blinds, HVAC is right there. And then again, just settings. This doesn't have the mobile app. There's a wireless connection that needs to go in here that they don't put in here on the Interstates. Now, from my understanding, you can add this if you want to. It's just basically like a little USB wireless stick. So it is something you are able to do if you want to. So that is, oh yeah, and the fan, you can control the fan right here as well. A little fantastic fan. So you don't have to control that with actually doing anything. You just hit a button and it'll do that for you. And then you've got your TV back here. Now this is on an arm. Oh, the AC just kicked on. It's on an arm, so that can come out. It is I believe a 110 TV. Let me see. Yeah, TV cable's right there. Now, if you wanted to have a Roku or a DVD player or something of that nature, this is where that's going to go. They already give you the little HDMI to plug in right there if you want to do that. There's additional power down here as well to be able to plug something in. Now, this new TV that's in the 24, this is one thing I have noticed that's different. It has the Netflix, has YouTube, Prime Video, of course it's full color, so it's a smart TV. That is a new TV for 24. I don't think the original TVs had the smart TV capabilities. Now, one thing I do like about this setup on this one, you don't have to put out you have to actually run these out, these ottomans out to be able to use them. And something else, you can kind of set this up as a twin bed. And I'll do that real quick. I need to move that down. So let's run the lounge down. Make it go the correct way. So right now, just so you can kind of hear the volume, the AC is running and the generator is running. All right, so what I was talking about with kind of making this into a twin bed, to keep this center section open makes it a little bit easier to get out at night if you're like myself where you need to go to the restroom. So you can actually lay down like this and kind of have a twin bed set up. So I'm kind of laying down with my feet here in the ottoman, and I can do the same thing on the other side. But it's easier to get up and to get out of the coach, right? Or to get out of the bed, I shouldn't say the coach, the bed. So it's a lot easier to kind of get in here and sit down depending on your ability to get up and down. I like that aspect of it. And then you can still run the ottomans in. Run these in real quick. And then you've got this much larger bed. Now someone's feet are going to have to go under here, and then a little bit of under right there as well. So, but now I can kind of scoot in. Now this one, you're going to have to, with the ottomans in, you have to kind of scoot in more, as you can see there. Now of course it's just me and a camera, so I'm not always going to give the best camera angles, but just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. But to get out of this one, you've got to kind of slide down to the bottom there to jump up, be able to go to the bathroom if you're going to use the bathroom that's right here. So I do like kind of the idea that you can leave these ottomans in their kind of driving position. Put that one away. And you could even run these out just a little bit to give you a little bit more leg room and still keep the aisle open. Now, I've seen in some Bs where this backrest also folds down and up automatically. It does not do that in the Interstate, so you'll need to move that to be able to run this back in. Otherwise, it won't go back in. All right, that's back, and I'm running. And then there's another thing I'd actually really like to see Airstream do. I'd love to see them put a lounge button, so the center button right here, like right there. Like I'd love to have that button right here, or right here, so that I could lean back the lounge, sitting back here without having to get up. Because like I've got it leaning back a little bit. This is way more comfortable for actually sitting and relaxing in your Interstate 19. But the only way to run this sofa back is to go up there, hit that button a little bit, so you're going to be standing up, and then sit back down and kind of see if that's comfortable or not. So just something that, if Airstream watches this video, they probably don't, but if they do, put a switch right here for the lounge, or integrate the lounge switch into the Firefly system and then give us the mobile app. I'd like that too. But you do have USB right here, and on both sides you've got some cup holders right there, cup holders here, and then you also have inverted power there. Now one question I get a lot is, where do I put my CPAP? There's power there. The best option probably for a CPAP is gonna be potentially putting it on top of the counter there and maybe sleep this way. The other option maybe would be to have the CPAP right here and then let the hose come down. There's power there, and there's power right here. Would be probably where you could put a CPAP. Not a ton of options on a B for a CPAP if that's something you need, but it's doable. You can figure it out if you need to. This is the lounge area of the Interstate 19. You pull this out. So this will actually come all the way around if you want to sit up front. Remember, that chair right there, that will turn around. So I guess you could sit there and watch your TV if you wanted to. And then this will just go back in place. It's got a little joint right here that connects onto that. That's what you're pulling down to let this be able to pull out. All right, let's jump into the cockpit of the, there's USB right there too. There's USB right there for whatever reason you might need it. You can plug in like your own HDMI stuff here, and there's USB there. And of course the HDMI that's ran down there. And that's just a cable that cable right there plugs in there and then runs through here into there. And then you can plug it in right there if you want to have a DVD player. Something of that nature. AC is running. I should have had that on the whole time because, boy, it's hot. Now you do have, with the Interstate 19 and the Mercedes chassis, you've got the whole Mercedes info entertainment, which I am going to show you in a second. But they do give you this additional radio, and that is just to allow you to be able to play music in the coach without having to have the whole dash on, having to have the motorhome on. So this radio is here. It's going to be AM, FM. I don't think it has, let's see, let's go here, AM. Oh, presets I want to change. Okay, AM, FM, aux, and Bluetooth. There is a USB port right there, which I think is going to go into the back of this, so you can plug a USB into that. So lets you be able to play off of your phone, Bluetooth, AM, FM, but it lets you play radio, play music inside the coach. So you're going to be playing on the speakers that are right there while you're actually camping. Now, as far as the roof system goes, Airstream does give you this really nice aluminum roof, and it's kind of a call to the Airstream heritage that the Interstate 19 has. It's also a Coleman Mach Q air conditioner. Now, this is not ducted in the 19. I don't think it's ducted in. It's not ducted in any of the Interstates. It is ducted in the Atlas. It's a fairly quiet unit. Yeah, goodness, unit. Sometimes my southern accent prevents me from being able to say words, but it's a fairly quiet union. That's so funny. Anyways, fairly quiet air conditioner. It's not going to be as quiet as the ducted AC systems that we have in the travel trailers with the Airstream or the Atlas. It is going to be louder than those because it's just air going straight up into it and air coming straight out, and that tends to be louder. I think I've showed everything inside. That's one of your heater ports right there. That's going to be your propane detector. There's a table that will slide in right here. If you want to use that, you can. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything there is to look at. In the back area, you do have reading lights right there. What's this switch do? Oh, it just turns. Okay, that switch turns that light on and off. Power right there. Oh, there's a pull-out extension here for the kitchen area. And I showed that. Okay, so let's jump over to the cockpit. Now, opening this side door, you can press this button here. Now we'll open the side door. You can press it again to stop it, and then make it, press it to continue going. And then if you want to close that, you don't have to go over here and try to press this button right here. You can just hit this button, and there's also one right here in the center of the console. You press that button there, and it will open and close this side door for you too. So if you forget to close the door, you can close that down there. All right, let's jump into the cockpit. Hey folks, it's Chad here. So I wanted to jump in real quick. I wanted to show you this, and I forgot to do it as I was doing the video outside. I want to show you the MSRP sheet for that Interstate 19 that the video is about. And I also wanted to show you where to look to see which chassis you're getting. So flip this around. If you're looking at the sheet, you're going to see, the Airstream and the true MSRP sheet's a lot bigger than this. We shrink it down so we can make it easier to manage in our system. So to tell you, Interstate 19, you're going to see all of your standard options here, kind of across the top. These are all the standard features, I should say. But right there is going to show you which chassis this has on it. They also give you the chassis information for that particular coach. So it's a 2022. This is still going to have the 3-liter V6, the 7-speed automatic transmission, which is going to give you 188 horsepower, 325 foot-pounds of torque. Even the wheelbase, all that kind of stuff is right there. Once it goes to the 23 chassis, that's going to say 23 chassis, and it's going to give you different information up here. Now, on this MSRP sheet, you're going to see 2 VIN numbers. The first one is the serial number. That is Airstream serial number for this coach. That's the one that's going to read 24. That R right there is going to tell you 24. 10th digit in is going to give you the year model. The chassis number is going to be the original Mercedes chassis number. So that's going to be a 22 chassis. So something to kind of keep an eye out for, especially if you're trying to figure out which chassis you have. And if you want the 2022 chassis, so you have that V6, or hey, maybe you want the 23 chassis, so you have the 4-cylinder turbo diesel. That's where you're going to look for that. And then your options, things that aren't standard, are going to show up down here. So we've got the 4x4 right there. That's going to be a $10,000 option. And then we've got the silver exterior, which is going to be a $1,200 option there. And Airstream is currently doing a fuel surcharge of $200. That's right there. And that gives you your total MSRP right there. Okay, so we're sitting in the cockpit, and it is a very comfortable cockpit. That is the thing I have to say about Mercedes that makes Mercedes unique, and worth the extra cost, I guess, in the Mercedes. You know, these seats significantly more comfortable than the ProMaster chassis. I don't know, you know, I don't think ProMaster really gives anyone an option to do a different seat. I don't think they can change, like a manufacturer could change the seat either, just simply because of all of the regulations with the government. Seats have to be tested and so forth. So the most they can do is recover the seat with a different material, but they can't change the seat out. These seats that Mercedes puts into the Sprinter chassis, I'm sure it's an option that Airstream probably picks. I doubt they put these in for when it's a delivery van. But, you know, the Sprinter chassis can be a delivery van as well. They're very comfortable. There's really good support. There is this kind of bolstering here that's very comfortable. You've got a multiple options as far as the powered seats go. You've got a thigh support that pulls out there. Again, this does rotate. This leather is also so soft, like so plush. I do love the little aluminum Airstream logo they put right here. And then this also does have lumbar support as well. That's going to be on the side of the seat, just down there. You can run that out and have some lumbar support. The adjustable armrests are really comfortable as well, and you can set that to whatever height that you want it to be at, and then of course you can also put it away and not have that out at all. So I really like the seats in this. These are in my opinion the best seats in all of the motorhomes that are I guess non-diesel motorhomes. Your kind of normal Class C, Class A gas, and then your Class Bs. Now, it's well appointed. You're gonna have the heated seat button right there. Lock and unlock is right there. You've got 3 memory seats on both sides. I love that you got memory seats on both sides, because a lot of folks that are going to be using an Interstate 19 to travel, they're going to change off in who drives and who's in the passenger seat. And I love that option there. Sorry, I shook the camera quite a bit there, but forward, backward there, and that's going to be your backrest, and then you can go up and down on that seat as well. So a good bit of movement with that as well. And then on your center infotainment, you've got these really cool air conditioner vents. Now if you rotate them to the right, that turns it off. Rotating it to the left turns it on. I do have this on, so you might hear it because it's, like I said earlier, it's warm outside. Now the infotainment on the Mercedes, I really like it. I do think the ProMaster may be just a little bit ahead of this one, just in its usability and how it works and the options that you have with it. But there's nothing wrong with this infotainment. It is fantastic. You've got a home button there. You can set multiple profiles to be able to save presets. You got volume up and down right there. You've got physical buttons for different things like your cameras, your telephone, radio, maps. This is button's gonna take you home. That button's gonna take you to your vehicle settings, and then there's a track forward and back button, and then a power or mute button right there. And I like the little volume knob, little toggle that's right there. You've got your HVAC controls here. It is going to be, you have the option to run it in auto, set the temperature, just hit auto, and it will do everything as far as the fan goes. You can change where the air is going right there. You've got your emergency lights here. That's going to be circulation. Now, this does have the Mercedes windshield heater, and if you look really hard, you can't see it in the cameras, but in person you see the little line, the little squiggly lines going down. So very similar to a lot of our cars. Rear windows, where there's a defrost that's built into the window, you have that in this coach as well. And what's great about that, the benefits of that is, even when it's warm outside, you are able to defrost that windshield. And like those mornings where it's a little bit warm, but it's also like Mercedes thinks I'm talking to her. I'm not. Where it's a little bit warm, but it's that kind of weird thing where the windshield is fogging up on you, but you don't want to run the heat. You can click that on a defrosted window, and you can still have your AC running inside the coach. I just clicked on the step to get the step to go up. Now it should go up automatically. when you're in drive. But this travel warning, if that light is blinking, it's because the awning's out, there's a door open, the step is out, something of that nature, and it's just telling you something's not right. Now it is push button for start stop. That is right there. You put your foot on the brake, hit that button there, and it'll start. Right down here, you're going to have your four-wheel drive. You'll need to be in neutral to activate this. But if you're in neutral, which is this little lever here, press it down like one little notch so we're in neutral. You can press this now, and it's going to blink a little bit. And then now we're in four-wheel drive, and then you can go into your low speed, and that's what that's going to be. And that's that kind of crawl mode for four-wheel drive. And then to turn this off, you'll also want to be in neutral again. Press that top button of that toggle. It's going to blink a little bit, and then it should cut off. So we're in four-wheel drive. We're in low range. It actually tells us right there that we're in low range. So we're going to click off. Let me go back to neutral. All right, so we'll click off low range. Low range is now off, and we'll click off four-wheel drive, and it blinks a couple of times and turns off. Now to put this in park, you're going to press this outside button here, and then we're now in park. It does tell you where you are, you know, what gear you're in or what you've selected here at the top. So if I want to go to drive, I'm going to press this all the way down, and I'm now in drive. If I want to go in reverse, I'm going to push it all the way up. I'm now in reverse, and the backup cameras come on. If I want to go to neutral, I'm just going to push it down a little bit, and I'm now in neutral. And if I want to go in park, I'm going to press the outside button there. And you do got little toggles here for range selector as far as the engine goes. Now on this steering wheel, so yeah, I'm in park, okay. And park is on too. It's electronic park brake. I didn't mention that, but that is right there. Now with this steering wheel on this side here, you're controlling the center screen. So this has currently got your 29 miles on it. Back in just, it's like a touchpad. So I can swipe down, it's going to go down. I'm going to swipe up, and it goes up. And if it's left or right, you swipe left or right. And then you can click down, press down to click or select on that. No, I don't want to reset the trip odometer. And then this button here is just going to take you back to home. And then this goes into this screen where you can select different things to show on your center screen. So that's going to show navigation, and you can show the radio, you can show media, you can show the phone, and then of course settings, navigation, trip, driver assistance. This shows like your adaptive cruise information, things like that, and then service. That would be just regular service stuff. The bottom right, this section here, and this button is going to be for your cruise control. So that turns your cruise control on, and all that means is that it's active. Like, it means that you can actually set cruise. Doesn't mean cruise control is on. Like, I'm not going to take off and run into that Airstream there. That just allows you to actually turn it on. And then you can set your distance between your follow vehicle. You can increase your speed that you've got the cruise set at. You can decrease the speed that you got your cruise set at. You press this up to resume, press it down to cancel. That's very easy there. And then on this side is going to control the radio. So I can kind of show, the radio. So if I swipe right, it's going to take me right. If I swipe left, it's going to take me left. I can go into the radio and change the station just by swiping around here. And then you do have a home button right there, so that's going to take you right back home. And then that's just a back button. So if I'm in the radio and I just want to go back, I can go back. And you can go, you can control about anything. This also has Hey Mercedes. When you say Hey Mercedes, you can then tell her to do things like take you to a certain destination, set the radio to a certain channel, make a phone call, all of those things that you're used to being able to do with your smartphone. This does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and those connections are going to be up here. You also have a wireless charge controller right there. That's going to be the port that you plug in right there. Try to get the camera to, there we go. You're going to plug into that port there for your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Those are just charge ports there, all USB-C, so something to be aware of. You do have a 12-volt outlet right there if you need that. And then that's a charge mat, wireless charger right there. And you do have some little cup holders here that are very small. You've got a little bit more storage in that area. And then you have another one of these on the passenger side right there. You've got a nice little compartment. You got great cup holders right there. Under here, to kind of finish the steering wheel, sorry for the ADD moment. That's going to be volume control, so you can turn up the volume just by rolling that up and down. You can press this up to make a phone call, press that down to go to favorites, start a call, end a call is that button there. So you got all of your controls. You can control almost everything with this infotainment without taking your hands off the steering wheel. That is something I really, really like about this setup. Nice leather wrapped steering wheel as well. It's very comfortable. Mirror controls are going to be right here, and you can fold these mirrors in. It's a nice feature to have. Now you can only control the top mirror, so I can set that mirror where I need it to be, and I can do the same thing on the other side. You're not able to control the bottom mirror. You have to do that manually. And then over here, just down here, you're going to have your lights. It does have auto dimming, auto lights on and off. That's going to set your dash lights there. And then your electronic park brake is on the 19. The 24s still have the manual pull up one, but the 19 has this really nice electronic brake. And it pretty much automatically puts that on every single time. So you have to knock off that brake every time you want to go. And to turn it off, you're going to pull. Oh, my phone's got weird. Okay, here we go. You pull towards you, and that turns it off. Push away from you, and that turns it on. So off and on. Very simple there. So I'm going to do a little bit of maneuvering around. You do have articulation, so you can go up and down and out. You can pull it towards you, telescope, and it goes up and down. I think on the range line, if you're kind of cross shopping these, which I think are two completely different vehicles, but that has been happening. You can only telescope the range line. You can't go up and down on it. So you can really get this into a really nice, comfortable driving position if that is something you desire to do. Now, what I'm going to do real quick, just to kind of give you an idea of what this system looks like as far as driving, I'm just going to kind of pull the van out. I'm unhooked everywhere. Yep. Awning is in. And you can really see, you can see where that's your front camera, so we're looking straight out, so you can see right in front of you, but it's also showing you where you're tracking, so where your tires are tracking, kind of your outside lines there. So it gives you a really good indication of where you're going. Now the park sensors are actually integrated into the front of the vehicle. You can kind of see these brakes in the front of the vehicle, and then the rear of the vehicle, that's your park sensors. Those are going to turn yellow and red to indicate how close you are to something. So I'll kind of get a little bit close to this Airstream that I definitely do not want to hit. You can now see that turned yellow to let me know that I'm kind of getting close to it. And if I turn my wheel and cut it, you can see how I'm just going to drive right away from that Airstream. International is what that is. So that is something I really like about this vehicle. Having that 360 degree just makes driving this vehicle so easy. And again, that's going to be standard on the Interstate 19. And as far as driving the Interstate 19, I'll take it out just on the road, just on our side road here, so you can see it drives phenomenal. This is a phenomenal driving vehicle. You can see that does stay on for you as you're driving around. We're just kind of coming out the back side of our dealership here. And it's a very smooth vehicle. Now that we've got going, that's going to cut off. Now, if I want to turn it back on, I can click that there. It wants you to check your surroundings. If you're going above a certain speed, it's not going to let you see the camera there. That's a safety thing on Airstream's part. And it looks like it's 10 miles per hour. If you get over 10 miles per hour, it's going to turn that off. Now I'm going to stop right here so I can throw the seatbelt on real quick. Safety first. Alright, now I've got my seatbelt on. And if you're wondering, I'm not looking at the camera right now. I'm just driving. So if you're like, I couldn't see really well, but I'm not really looking at the camera. I'm just kind of driving. The biggest thing I will tell you about this vehicle is it's a fairly smooth ride. Now this is the 4-wheel drive version, so it is going to sit a little bit higher. The ride is going to be less plush, I would say, compared to the 2-wheel drive. The 2-wheel drive also sits quite a bit lower, so it's a little bit easier to get in and out of. But it's a smooth ride. I can't really complain at all about this. It's easy to drive. There's not a lot of play in the steering wheel. You are going to hear a little bit of noise from the motorhome part of this, and that's just true with really all motorhomes. I mean, it's really just how they are. When you have a whole house in the back of the coach, it's hard to make it perfectly quiet, but Airstream is one of the quietest riding motorhomes I've ever driven. The next best, I think, would be Integra Coach and Jayco. They really try hard to make sure their motorhomes are quiet. One thing I am noticing, even though it has side view cameras, it is not giving you a shot down the right side of the coach when you get over. Now this does have blind spot. If you're beside a car, there's a little triangle that's going to light up. It will alert you to let you know that there's someone there when you put your turn signal on. Again, with being the 19, there's a reason why this is the #1 selling Class B motorhome for Airstream. It's so easy to drive. I just feel like I'm driving my truck in this, but this is more comfortable than my truck. No doubt, way more comfortable than my truck. Now I've got the air running in the back. The generator is currently running. I've got air in the front running. Now, one thing about this being a smaller coach, being a 19, the dash air actually will cool the whole coach off fairly well. You know, it's not going to get all the way to the back, the greatest, but overall, it can cool the whole coach down. The 24, I think, is going to be hard to do that because it's so much longer. But the 19, it's short enough and small enough that I think you can really control the temperature of the whole coach with just the dash air and not have to run the AC in the back. Again, really good power with this V6 diesel. If you want the V6, you don't want the new 4-cylinder that's going to be coming out and any point now. As soon as Airstream runs out of the 2022 chassis, you're going to be the 4-cylinder, and you're going to lose the true 4-wheel drive system as well. I'm going to come to a stop here, and I just want to show you the triangle so you can kind of see it right there in the mirror. So that's your triangle for your blind spot. That will light up if someone is in your blind spot as you're going down the road. And get right back into Airstream at Greensboro. It's a little lot. Here we go. Airstream at Greensboro. Slow down a little bit. Don't want to go too fast. And here we do have a speed limit of 10 miles per hour. And again, I can now, because I'm going under 10, I can flip that back on and see my 360-degree camera. Go around Mr. Truck. You can really see how easy it is to maneuver this van with the 360-degree cameras. You can see exactly where you're going, how close you are to things, where you're tracking to go. I mean, it's so easy. If you're looking for an easy vehicle to tour the country in, the 19 is definitely going to be the one to do that with. All right, folks, that's going to end or conclude the video on my walk around the 2024 Interstate 19 4-wheel drive edition with the modern greige interior, the silver exterior, everything you've got as far as your 360-degree cameras and everything. This is a super easy coach to drive. If you're looking for something to just be able to travel the whole country in, go up into Canada, go wherever it is you want to go, kind of endless possibilities, the 4-wheel drive version of this is the one to get for that. If you're looking for something easy to drive, a little bit lower entry into the coach and exit of the coach, the 2-wheel drive version is going to be the way to go. And that's a rear-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive. When this is in 2-wheel drive mode, it's the rear-wheel drive. If you have any questions or like to see the description or the specifications of this coach, I'll have a link down in the description. Feel free to reach out, call my cell phone there, shoot me an email or send me a text. I'll be happy to help you answer any questions or help you get your next Interstate 19. Hope you guys are having a great summer. You guys live riveted, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.